while you may have heard of the Erie Canal and understand, in the back of your mind what that means, the Erie Canal is largely a concept to people today. It's not something that they, viscerally touch or feel or will experience, but it's something that you can. Most of the Erie Canal still exists. If you want to travel from the Hudson River to the Great Lakes, that is available to you. So please join us as we explore everything along the Erie Canal that we could find.
The Erie Canal, more than just a waterway, is a symbol of American ingenuity and spirit. Before the canal, the journey from the East Coast to the Great Lakes was a grueling and arduous endeavor. Overland routes were treacherous and time-consuming, hampering the growth of trade and settlement across the young nation. But the visionaries of the early 19th century saw an opportunity to overcome these obstacles. Spanning 363 miles, the canal, sometimes referred to as Clinton's Ditch, after its chief proponent, Governor DeWitt Clinton, would transform the economy and landscape of upstate New York. The construction brought together a workforce of laborers, engineers, and skilled artisans. Through the sweat and determination, they shaped the route, cutting through dense forests, navigating rugged terrain, and bridging mighty rivers. In 1825, amid celebration and fanfare, the Erie Canal was opened to the world. The canal's series of locks and aqueducts defied nature's barriers, enabling boats laden with grain, lumber, and raw materials to traverse the varying elevations with newfound ease. As the canal progressed, it breathed life into towns and cities that would thrive along its banks. From Buffalo in the west to Albany in the east, a thriving network of commerce, culture, and human connection was born. In the year 2000, Congress established the Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor, a National Park Service designation which includes not only the Erie Canal, but also all of the connected waterways, encompassing 4,834 square miles across 23 counties. This means 3.2 million people, or 80% of upstate New Yorkers, live within 25 miles of the canal system. Today, the Erie Canal serves primarily as a recreation destination. It's connected to so many people and communities that there are endless ways to experience it. Here you can go boating, ride your bike, participate in Canalside festivals, or visit interactive museums. Join me on a journey along this historic waterway as we trace the path that shaped a nation and show you what the Erie Canal has to offer. Buffalo, New York, located on the shores of Lake Erie, is the western terminus of the Erie Canal. The city played a pivotal role in the canal's history and was often referred to as the gateway to the west. This port city has been both a testament to and a beneficiary of the canal's immense influence. The constant flow of Great Lakes ships, canal boats, and rail cars through Buffalo was a driving force behind the city's growth and prosperity. In present times, Canalside, Buffalo, a revitalized district, celebrates this rich heritage. This area, now a popular destination for both residents and tourists, bridges Buffalo's past and present. Visitors can explore a variety of exhibits and informative displays that narrate the pivotal role the Erie Canal played in the city's development. The site also provides a range of water-based activities like kayaking in summer and ice skating in winter. It's also a popular event location for festivals, concerts, and tours. Just around the corner is the Buffalo Naval Park, which features decommissioned naval vessels such as the USS Little Rock and USS The Sullivans, and offers the public a chance to explore these maritime relics. In addition to the ships, the park also features a museum and several exhibits that delve deeper into naval history, showcasing artifacts, uniforms, and other memorabilia from different eras. Setting off from Buffalo along the historical path of the canal, you'll see the lasting infrastructure that helps maintain the waterway to this day. There are too many structures and ruins to catalog everything in one video, but the scale of the canal and the amount of work that took place to connect America's waterways quickly becomes apparent. The first major site on the canal heading east is the town of Lockport. This town is home to two key locations, the Erie Canal Discovery Center and the Flight of Five Locks. The Discovery Center is nestled in a building from 1843 made of canal stone and offers an immersive introduction to the canal's creation. Inside the museum are a film, interactive displays that demonstrate how canals work, and models that depict the canal's history. After experiencing the museum, take the short walk to the Flight of Five Locks, a series of 5 locks constructed to lift and lower canal boats over a steep elevation. This is one of the best spots along the entire canal to see the impressive engineering that was required to connect 2 waterways over open land. These locks are fully operational today, and a restoration of the locks, completed in 2014, allows you to witness the canal the way it has operated for nearly 2 centuries. Like most sections of the canal, you can also navigate it by boat if you prefer to experience the canal on the water. Together, the Erie Canal Discovery Center and the Flight of Five Locks offer a journey through time, showcasing the ingenuity and determination that drove the creation of the Erie Canal. Continuing east for 20 miles, the canal meanders through serene rural areas and small towns before we arrive at our next destination, the unique Medina Culvert, a remarkable structure that allows a road to pass directly beneath the canal.
So I'm at the Erie Canal on top of the famous Culvert Road, which is the only section of the Erie Canal that has a road running underneath it. The canal actually extends over a tunnel to make sure that people can pass through here. It's weird and it stands out, but it's impressive that they have an entire canal section that boats can cross where you can go underneath it.
Alongside the canal is the old towpath, which has been repurposed as a 300-mile statewide bike trail, weaving through the countryside and cities like Rochester, Syracuse, and Utica. This is one of the most common ways to experience this historic route. The bike trail consists of paved, dirt, and grassy sections, letting you choose how you want to experience it. Efforts to extend the statewide bike trail along connected waterways are also underway. While the Erie Canal is the famous one, it's not the only canal in New York State. Other bodies of water, including the Finger Lakes, Lake Ontario, and Lake Champlain, are connected to the Erie Canal via the Cayuga-Seneca, Oswego, and Champlain canals. One of these towns along the waterway's path is Knowlesville. This town has a great example of the lift bridges that dot western sections of the canal and stand as a testament to enduring infrastructure. Another 17 miles east is Hawley Canal Falls, a 35-foot cascade located in a town park in Hawley, New York. These falls are created from an overflow of the canal's waters, so there's a consistent flow from spring to fall. The falls can be seen from the parking lot area, but paved trails lead throughout the park. The park is free and a great spot for a picnic-tabled lunch. Departing from Hawley, our eastward journey along the Erie Canal leads us to the dynamic city of Rochester. Here the canal greets the Genesee River, a vital waterway that once energized the city's industrial mills and factories, with the Court Street Dam as its linchpin. This historical dam, a testament to human innovation, remains a proud symbol of Rochester's industrial heritage. Just downstream, the impressive High Falls, a 96-foot natural spectacle, marks Rochester's evolution from a frontier settlement to an industrial powerhouse. The area around the falls, where industrial ruins meet the modern skyline, invites contemplation of the past's imprint on the present. Leaving downtown, we move to Genesee Valley Park, which lies back at the meeting point of the Erie Canal and the Genesee River. The park offers a green space that invites visitors to pause and reflect on the intertwining of Rochester's industrial strength with the peaceful flow of the canal and river alongside. Continuing on a road trip, there are numerous towns with lift bridges and other canal infrastructure, as well as bike path access points. The path has largely replaced boats as the way that most people experience the small towns along the waterway's path. At Lock 29 and the Paul Mack Aqueduct County Park, the essence of the canal as a bustling transportation hub can still be felt. But these locks now provide tranquil spots for picnics and leisurely walks. The familiar blue and yellow paint signifies that the state preserves these old structures for modern use. Down the canal at Lock E27, in Lyons, you can easily observe the canal's daily use. This popular lock serves as one of the best examples of the multifaceted nature of the waterway. The town features the lock, a dam, murals, ruins, and a bridge overhead that allows you to look down on everything. While there are hundreds of places to experience different aspects of the Erie Canal, Lyons is one of the best places to visit if you only have time for one stop. For the next bit of our trip, we deviated from the direct path of the Erie Canal and ventured south to the town of Seneca Falls, where the canal's influence intertwined with another important chapter of American history. This town is home to Women's Rights National Historical Park. In 1848, 200 women and men met here to advocate for women's rights, and a movement followed. I have another video on my channel that highlights this national park site, so if you're interested in hearing an in-depth history of what happened here, I'll link it in the description. In addition to the National Historical Park, Seneca Falls features several unique museums and was a guest to many historical figures. The National Women's Hall of Fame celebrates the accomplishments of influential American women, connecting to the town's legacy as a hub of the women's rights movement. Amelia Bloomer and Alice Paul, both prominent women's rights figures in their own right, inspired change from this town. The It's a Wonderful Life Museum celebrates a cultural legacy as the town served as the inspiration for the town of Bedford Falls from the Christmas classic. Finally, the Seneca Museum of Waterways and Industry delves into the local industrial past tied to the canal's influence. The canal was instrumental in opening New York State to the influx of settlers and businesses that supported them. But Seneca Falls doesn't sit along the Erie Canal. It's instead located along the Cayuga-Seneca Canal, which is one of the connected canals I mentioned earlier. This one connects the Finger Lakes to the statewide canal system. Seneca Falls is home to locks 2 and 3, which are each 25 feet tall, resulting in a 50-foot elevation change. Heading away from the Finger Lakes and back north to connect with the Erie Canal, the route passes through Montezuma National Wildlife Refuge, a large wetlands with trails. North of the refuge is the junction of the two canals, with Canal Lock 25 to the west, and the Richmond Aqueduct ruins, also known as the Seneca River Aqueduct, to the east. Canal Lock 25 showcases the blend of historical engineering and modern functionality characteristic of the Erie Canal. It's a well-preserved section of the canal that is never crowded, so it's a great spot to spend some time examining everything required to make the canal system possible. But for the ruin lovers out there, the Richmond Aqueduct ruins is one of the most impressive sights that still remains. This historic structure spanned 840 feet over the Seneca River, with 31 stone arches supporting a timber trough. Construction began in 1849 and was completed in 1857. Today, remnants of this engineering marvel still exist, but in 1917, all but 7 of these arches were removed to allow for the current-day path of the canal. In addition to the ruins, this site offers trails for walking, biking, and birdwatching. Over its history, the Erie Canal's route has undergone significant changes. As demands and technology evolved, the canal was enlarged and altered at several points. These updated routes incorporated parts of the original route, but also included new sections and utilized natural waterways, reflecting advancements in engineering and the changing needs of transportation. Some sections were orphaned, like the next stop at the Old Erie Canal Heritage Park in the town of Port Byron.
It's a lovely day in the town of Port Byron, New York this morning. A little bit of a downpour. But they have some of the most interesting and explorable canal locks, and it's right along the highway. That's as you can hear. And they're one of the few that are in really decent condition that you can walk just straight down through. There's also a historic village that emulates what this area was like when the canal was functioning. This section, while many of the sections of the canal you can explore by boat still, this section is not. There's another route that travels through this area, and this is largely just a section that has been memorialized and preserved.
The park serves as a living museum, showcasing the canal's historical significance and its role in shaping the nation's development. The Erie Canal continues along the route of the Seneca River 25 miles, to the junction of our second connected canal, the Oswego Canal, which leads into Lake Ontario. The first stop on this arm of the canal system is in Phoenix, New York, where you'll find the picturesque Lock Island Park. This compact yet charming island park is an ideal spot to witness the workings of the lock system and enjoy the tranquil environment of the canal. Phoenix offers 3 canal characteristics. The lock is similar to several we've seen at this point, but a bright yellow drawbridge raises and lowers to accommodate boat traffic. On the other side of Lock Island Park is a dam that demonstrates how well designed the waterways are to keep the elevation changes navigable. While the canal locks are easy to identify throughout the state, places like nearby Great Bear Springs Recreation Area are easy to miss but showcase other sides of the canal's history. The park, encompassing 444 acres along the Oswego River, features historic Guard Lock 2 of the Oswego Canal, which controlled water levels during flooding. The ruins are accessible by hiking the river's landing loop or by water for kayakers and canoers. This area offers a variety of recreational activities including hiking, biking, and water sports along nearly 8 miles of trails. Our next stop is Lock 6 on the Oswego Canal. The Oswego Canal is only 23 miles in length, but descends 188 feet. Locks like this one bridge the limited distance but steep elevation change at comfortable intervals. At the point where the canal meets Lake Ontario rests historic Fort Ontario, which tells a broader story of the canal's role in the region's defense and navigation. The fort played roles in several conflicts, including the French and Indian War, the American Revolution, and the War of 1812. It was also a hospital in World War I and a refuge for Holocaust survivors during World War II. Today, Fort Ontario is a museum that showcases its rich history, offering visitors a glimpse into the various eras of its use and its significance in regional and national defense. After reaching the end of the Oswego Canal, we ventured back to the Erie Canal at Lock 23, west of Oneida Lake. This represents the modern route of the waterway, which now goes around the city of Syracuse, while the original route cut directly through the city. Lock 23 is my favorite lock along the entire canal. For the rest of the road trip, we'll see many larger, more impressive locks. But after visiting Lock 23, the remaining canal locks are just like collecting more sights than having new experiences. This picturesque setting in the forests of upstate New York is so well kept, preserved, and explorable that it's a must-see for anyone interested in this topic. What makes this lock unique is its accessibility. During our visit, we were treated to a full tour of the machinery, upkeep, and procedures that make the canal system possible. One of the features not to miss is a massive Edison-era DC generator. This historic relic highlights the integration of early electrical technology into the canal infrastructure, demonstrating the canal's role in adopting and utilizing technological advancements of the time. After exploring Lock 23, we headed to Syracuse. The Erie Canal no longer flows through the city, but ruins and old infrastructure can be found in and around the area.
The city of Syracuse, New York, lies about halfway through the Erie Canal system, so that's where the main visitor center is for the canal and the heritage area.
The Erie Canal Museum is not just a building. It's a repository of the canal's rich history. Visitors step into the past, exploring interactive exhibits and original artifacts that bring the canal's story to life. The museum, housed in the only remaining canal weight lock building in the US, where canal boats used to be weighed like modern tractor trailers are at highway weigh stations, offers a deep dive into the canal's influence on American life, from its heyday to its present status as a historical landmark. On the eastern edge of Syracuse is the old Erie Canal State Historic Site. This preserved stretch of the original canal is part of a green space with towpath trails and invites visitors to experience the tranquil side of the canal, once bustling with commerce and activity. It's a nice place to view the canal after learning about it at the museum. "20 miles east in the town of Canastota is the unique but simply named Erie Canal Park. Notably, the original canal path in downtown Canastota was closed, with roads and parking lots built over the abandoned section, reflecting the canal's transition in the face of modern development. Canastota is also home to the International Boxing Hall of Fame, although we did not go on this trip. The purpose of this trip is to follow the path of the Erie Canal, but we did choose to add some monuments and locations important to American history. One of these places is Fort Stanwix National Monument in Rome, New York. It played a pivotal role during the Revolutionary War as a key defensive position. The fort, nicknamed the Fort That Never Surrendered, successfully repelled a British siege in 1777, contributing to the Saratoga Campaign's outcome. Today, the reconstructed fort offers a glimpse into the 18th century military life and the fort's strategic importance in shaping the nation's early history. It serves as an educational and historical landmark, connecting visitors with America's past. Just down the road is another battlefield, Oriskany, site of one of the bloodiest battles of the Revolutionary War. This battle saw fierce combat between the Continental Army and British forces with their Native American allies. It significantly impacted the Saratoga Campaign, influencing the course of the war. Today, the battlefield is a memorial to the soldiers who fought there, offering educational insights into a pivotal moment in American history. Sites like these collectively celebrate the Erie Canal's enduring legacy as a gateway to American heritage. We pick up with the canal at Lock 20 in Whitesboro. The tourist-friendly park alongside the lock includes picnic tables, a shelter, barbecue grills, and an observation platform, which allows visitors to look down into the canal without fear of falling in. The canal route then flows along the northern end of the city of Utica, before reaching Guard Gate 5 in Herkimer. The Guard Gate is a good example of many similar infrastructure elements that allow easy boat passage. A dam and spillway on the north bank maintain a canal pool level and allow excess water to flow into the natural bed of the Mohawk River. Our next destination is Erie Canal Lock E18, also known as the Erie Canal Endpoint, as it lies at the meeting point of the man-made canal and the naturally flowing Mohawk River. The Mohawk River is passable by boat without the canal's construction, so once you reach this point, all of the additional canal locks exist to ease passage along the waterway through spillway dams which better control the river's flow. The next lock is E13, which is also home to the Mohawk Valley Welcome Center. This site is a roadside rest stop along Interstate 90, with displays, exhibits, and a canal-themed playground for kids. The lock and the Welcome Center together provide a quick way to learn about the canal's history and its enduring influence on upstate New York communities through the convenience of a highway stop. Another 10 miles east is Skokory Crossing State Historic Site, a historic district encompassing ruins of the Erie Canal Aqueduct over Skokory Creek. This site was the first part of the old Erie Canal designated as a National Historic Landmark. The site's rich history also includes connections to Native American fortified villages. The original Erie Canal route crossed through Skokory Creek, with remnants of this 19th century structure still visible. Today, the site provides insights into the canal's impact on transportation and regional development. Continuing east, the waterway is significantly wider and gives way to massive spillways, bridges, and infrastructure that dwarf the small canal locks on the river's edge. Locks E9, E8, and E7 begin the countdown on the final stretch to the Hudson River. Despite the obvious end you would assume you'd find at Lock 1, you'd be surprised to find that the first lock on the eastern terminus of the Erie Canal is Lock 2. The lock is also not located in Albany, but is instead 11 miles north in the town of Waterford. While we've officially arrived at the Hudson River, that is not the end of our journey. As mentioned before, there are 3 canal systems connected to the Erie Canal. So far, we've explored the Cayuga-Seneca Canal and the Oswego Canal, but that leaves us with the Champlain Canal. The Champlain Canal was built concurrently with the Erie Canal and runs 60 miles north and connects the Hudson River to the southern end of Lake Champlain in the town of Whitehall. Starting the last leg of our journey north, our first stop is another Revolutionary War battlefield from 1777 that predates the canal, Saratoga National Historical Park. This battlefield-turned-memorial is located along the route of the Champlain Canal and is an essential moment in American history. The preservation of Saratoga enriches our understanding of the times and needs from which the Erie Canal emerged. The locks on the Champlain Canal are labeled 1 through 12, although there is no 10. These locks are single-chamber, 328 feet long, and 45 feet wide, and have a minimum 12-foot depth. They can accommodate a vessel up to 300 feet in length and 43 feet wide. North of Albany, the landscape is surprisingly rural and the canal is fairly hidden by trees. Between Saratoga and Whitehall, it's not easy to find canal elements unless you're looking for them. Once you arrive at Lock C12 in Whitehall, New York, you'll know you've completed the journey of seeing the entire canal system. There is no grand declaration that you've arrived at the end, just a beautiful town along a common-looking waterway. The end of the canal might even be overshadowed by the wooden hull of the USS Ticonderoga, a vessel from the War of 1812. Distinguished in the Battle of Plattsburgh, she was decommissioned and later sold, but later rediscovered in 1958. She is now on display as a historical artifact in Whitehall. Our journey along the Erie Canal has been a reflection on history, innovation, and natural beauty. From the engineering marvels of its locks to the serene landscapes it opened up, the canal stands as a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. It's more than a waterway. It's a living chronicle of America's past. You can see it, touch it, and experience it. I hope this journey inspires many to discover the wonders of the New York State canal system, to connect with its rich heritage, and to create your own stories along its banks.